So let me go back to the question about how big a deal was it to stand up this program for your agency? How many people did you have to hire? How long did it take? Was it like nothing the agency has ever done before, or is it like, oh, we can do this in a weekend and it'll be fine?
Well, I have to remind you, too, that the low carbon fuel standards passed in the same session. So
you were actually
literally setting up both programs at the same time.
Wow.
And I will say they were crazy times. The Department of Ecology, it was very, very fast. In fact, I talked to a lot of my colleagues in other agencies or folks who had done it at the California Air Resources Board, and they said, you'll never meet your timelines. I said, oh, we will, because of who my governor is. He's my boss, and we're going to meet those timelines. And the legislature set these timelines, and we get to look to see what California and Quebec has already done successfully. We also looked at the European Union's trading system, and so we had samples that we could look at and that we could learn from. But it was really a very pedal to the metal in terms of getting these programs up and running. We were hiring frenzy, getting people into place to be able to get these programs up and running. It's about 18 months from start to finish.
Wow.
So yeah.
And did you have to essentially create a whole new wing of the agency and hire a bunch of people to do this?
Yeah, we did. At first, we just hired a bunch of people into the air quality program because we had an existing, already, very good, solid infrastructure within the air quality program. We didn't have time to set up. To be honest, we didn't have time to set up a brand new climate program in the 18 months that we had. So we just, hired a bunch of people, got a bunch of experts, attracted people from throughout the country. A lot of people want to work. Do this kind of work. So we were really lucky and successful in that recruitment and hiring. We have since created, though, a climate pollution reduction program, and all of our climate greenhouse gas reduction work is within that program. So that would also be the motor vehicle emission standards, greenhouse gas inventory, hydrofluorocarbon phase out. I already mentioned low carbon fuel standards. All of the greenhouse gas mitigation work is within that climate pollution reduction program.
Okay. I've sort of buried the obvious question here, but it was good to get this background. This program will be on the ballot in November, and the voters will decide whether to continue it or not. And obviously there's going to be, I would imagine, pretty vociferous debate and campaigns on both sides. How does your agency proceed over the next few months? Are you preparing for a possibility that this would be shut down? Do you just act as if it's business as usual until you learn otherwise, or the program is upheld by voters and keep going? What's happening at Ecology knowing that this is on the ballot?
Yeah, that's a great question. Of course, Austin, as you know, as a state employee, state official, I don't have a position on the initiative, and our agency doesn't take a position on the initiative. I would say it's, we don't have our heads in the sand. We know the initiative is out there, but we also have a charge from the legislature to continue on with this work. So our next auction takes place this week, actually. Our auction takes place on Wednesday, and we have 4 quarterly auctions, and we've got implementation work that we need to do. We're working, as I said, on linkage. We're working on what to do with emissions, intensive trade exposed industries into the future. We're working on updating our offsets protocol. A lot of that work that actually business community is asking us to work on, especially around looking at aspects of our offset protocols. And so, it's out there. We know it exists, but we're kind of heads down, just continuing to do the work. The legislature directed us to do the work. It's been, successfully implemented up to this date, and we will continue to do that, and then we'll see what happens in November.
Is there any indication that having this out there on the ballot will affect the auction at all, affect the prices, affect the participation, have any sort of market impact?
We're always very reluctant to make guesses or speculate about what's happening in any particular market or what's impacting prices at any particular time. I will say in our last auction in March, prices did go down, and there were 2 maybe external factors that may have contributed to that. One would be the initiative had been certified by that point. The other was that we were headed towards linking, or made it clear that we were interested in linking our program with the larger California-Quebec market. Were those the factors that brought the prices down, or was it that entities that are being regulated under the program had gotten enough allowances and they were starting to feel like they were going to be able to meet their first compliance deadline in November 24? We don't really know. We don't want to read too much into any particular auction, so I guess I would say it's possible. But with, again, the fluctuation, we've only had 5 regular auctions up to this point. With the fluctuation we've seen in prices, we're just pretty reluctant to read too much into any one auction.
If this program were repealed at the ballot and people have been participating in purchase credits and they have some value, what would happen? Like, would you have to return the money, cancel the credits? Has anybody thought through what unwinding the program would look like?
I'm certain there are assistant attorneys generally, Attorney
Thinking about
General's
this?
office that are looking at that for us, yeah.
You can check out the rest of the show by clicking on the link below or by watching Inside Olympia Thursday evenings at 7 and 10.